Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the third debate of term. So tonight, we debate sport. In Michaelmas 1976, this House passed the motion that sport and politics should not mix by an overwhelming majority. But today, as we approach the upcoming European Football Championships, and as we see athletes increasingly using their voices to protest social injustices and make use of their platform, the age-old question of the relationship between politics and sport is again up for debate. So the motion before us tonight is this House would keep politics out of sport. And we are honoured to be joined by some incredible speakers. So proposing the motion tonight, Mims Davies MP is joined by student speakers Joshua Dargan and Lucy White. Meanwhile, in opposition of the motion, Tim Hollingsworth is joined by Adana Okoli and Joseph Elwa. So I'll do a really quick brief reminder on format. So in terms of the paper speeches, so they'll be given 8 to 10 minutes to make their case, and we'll have some rounds of floor speeches in between each round of paper speeches. So after we hear from the first proposition and opposition, we'll go to floor speeches, whereas audience members, you'll have the opportunity to make your case. So during the speeches that you'll hear tonight, you'll also have the opportunity to do points of information, which are short, quick questions, and they should be phrased as a question, and it is the speaker's complete right to refuse to take the POI if they wish to do so. But we do encourage you to make POIs and to make as many interventions from the floor as you so wish. If you have a longer point to make that you don't think you'll be able to fit within a 10 to 15 second question, we ask that you do that in the form of a floor speech, which are 2 to 3 minute speeches that you'll get to make after paper speeches. And this week, we're really happy and really proud that the floor speech prize for the best floor speech is the opportunity to have a custom Jack's flavour made for you. So heading into exams, that is quite exciting. But without further ado, we'll move on to the paper speeches for tonight. So opening the case tonight for the proposition is Mims Davies MP. Ms Davies was elected as the Mid Sussex MP in December 2019, following 4+ years as the Eastleigh MP. She is the prospective parliamentary candidate for the new East Grinstead and Uckfield constituency, following the recent boundary changes. She's also currently the Minister of State for Disabled People, Health and Work, and she's held a number of ministerial positions over the last 8+ years, including as the Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for Sport, Civil Society and Loneliness in Theresa May's government. Ms Davies, you have the floor.
Madam President, members of the Cambridge Union, let me start by thanking you for having me this evening. I'm not sure what Tim and I were expecting, but I think we're all delighted to be here. I have the pleasure of being the 380th woman to be elected to the House of Commons. And frankly, they'll let anyone in because I've made it. But in my life, I never thought I would be asked to speak here, Madam President. So it's an honour to take part in what I'm sure will be a lively debate. And tonight I'll be supporting the proposition that the motion that this House would keep politics out of sport. Now, I want to state, of course, I'm here in a personal capacity, not as an MP or as a minister. So I do hope this debate this evening will be fun and interesting, because great debate has the power to inform, persuade, and change minds. So if you've come in with a view, let's see what you think when you leave. Now, having been Sports Minister previously, I know 1 or 2 things about tonight's topic of debate, and I can truly say it was a wonderful job to hold. Sitting in the number 1 seat at Wembley is not bad. From grassroots to disability sport, to innovation, to national sporting moments, to be part of that, my time at Sports Minister was a joy. But I also worked to tackle problems concerning racist, homophobic and anti-Semitic chanting. Let me be crystal clear, there is no place in sport or any part of our lives, politics, wider society, for any of that, and we should do everything we can in any position to combat that. Moving on to the motion, firstly, politics should be kept out of sport. Yet I do not think it's wholly possible to be entirely out of sport. There is a difference there, I'm sure. The role of government is leadership in sport around politics and is to aid in the delivering as well as the enabling of fantastic sport to take place. Whether that be the funding of local playing fields to allow children to take up sport at any age from any background, to delivering events on the global stage, such as the London 2012 Olympics and the Birmingham Commonwealth Games. It is vital that a role in keeping people safe through measures to protect people at those events from any potential harm, or indeed being part of sports from head injury to what is a workplace injury, we should have an understanding of that. But these roles in terms of politics should be very, very limited, and crucially that to me is a must. My second point centres around the idea that sport is a form of escapism, a joy away from daily life and drudge. And as you can imagine, I'm fairly involved in politics. I love politics, but there is too much of a good thing. Perhaps we can see that from 24-hour news. So believe it or not, even MPs need a break from politics. I love watching and partaking in sport. And indeed, just this weekend, it was a great privilege to hand out the medals at the Mid Sussex Marathon weekend, which I founded back in 2011. It's our London 2012 Mid Sussex legacy event. Sport is truly a great way to unwind, take a break and escape from our normal day-to-day lives. Whether it is going to a football game on a Saturday, whether it is watching the F1 with your friends at their house, to watching a World Cup game at the pub, or taking your little ones to their training sessions. All of these help us to leave behind that meeting at work, that stressful task, which is perhaps due tomorrow, or indeed, for some of you this evening, that impossible essay which is creeping up on you. So, indeed, sport allows us to switch off for those couple of hours, enjoy and reward ourselves on a week's good work, and be part of another world, which is absolutely a good thing. And I'm sure many of us don't want to be, in their times of unwinding, reminded of politics. Indeed, politics, bringing it into sport, takes us out of that break. It takes us out of what we were trying to avoid. It pushes us back into our daily lives. Let's keep sport, as much as we can, a politics-free space so we, including MPs, can switch off. I love sport and politics, as I've said, but there are different things about them to love. Politics is about being able to make a difference in people's lives, helping constituents, standing up for causes and people. There is no higher duty than public service. Also love watching the emotions and taking part in sport, experience the highs of winning, regrouping after a defeat. These things happen. Watching our local young people and athletes shine and inspire. Sport is a great force for good, joy, escapism and inspiration. We shouldn't really muddy the water when it comes to politics being involved in sport, even though politics is an important subject. And why should it overshadow this? People watching sport often are looking to avoid opinion, stress or angst. However, being sports minister, you can cajole, support and engage. It doesn't mean you have to fully involve politics. And finally, sport at its best is that unifying force. By its very own nature, set up of politics we're facing each other tonight is a diversive and adversarial area. Sport should be about that, just sport. We should see the power of athletes have on people from all different backgrounds and all different communities, especially our young people, to see the great things that you can do, the great things you can try that you may have never dreamed of. Sportsmen and women show that through hard work, training, dedication, opportunity and true talent, everything is possible. The London 2012 Olympics and Paralympics are a great example of celebrating sporting achievements of young people, young girls in particular, and taking up football, dreaming big or being part of any sport. There is space for you. Our football clubs, rugby teams, Team GB can unite as well as make us feel like we belong to a bigger community. We're part of something wider than just ourselves. Whether you're a golfer, a Liverpool fan, an Exeter Chiefs fan, you are part of something to share with other people. You can experience the same highs and lows together with the strong belief and unity in a more divided world that community and connectivity is just around the corner. Sport unites us in a way that provides fantastic, new and enduring role models. From Leah Williamson to Kelly Holmes to Mo Farah, Tom Daley, to name a few. This is what sport should be about and what we should rely on in terms of that unifying force and connectivity. It's about participating, celebrating greater achievement under our flag. It's what is the reason to keep politics and opinion out of it as much as we can. There's plenty of opinions when it comes to sport itself. Let's retain the broad, welcoming, heartening space that continues to inspire, raise up people and unite us in a way that this university and sport and others can. There is no greater reason in a polarised time to keep politics out of sport.